really can't recycle chewing gum.
Yeah, that's I've seen that scene in Elf before. That's right. Welcome up, welcome everybody. I mean, stumbled through that to another live edition. That's right, season 10 live. We're on the road, and of course, here at DeKalb County, Dr. Terry Webb was with us earlier, hosting us, and we'll get into our guest here in just a second. But before we do, Adam, you and I had this debate at your house earlier today, and that was stuffing versus dressing. Because my wife is from the South, and I've lived everywhere, and I always call it stuffing because I just assume that's kind of what it is. And you said
Dressing.
because
It's not inside. Stuffing is you stuff it in. I mean, it's literally like if I think about it, stuffing. I'm stuffing it in something. So that's how.
But once you take it out of the bird and put it on a plate, does it become dressing? Or is it still stuffing because it came? So are we talking the origin? Has it always been stuffing? Did it start at stuffing at conception? No, wait, we don't want to start there.
No. We don't go there.
See?
This is one of those two Americas conversations. Like,
Right.
It goes right up there with pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie. Like there's a side of the fence that you're on.
All right. On the count of three, what's the casserole that you have in your table that we have at ours? We'll see. It's two sides of America. Okay. You have to have it Thanksgiving. 3, 2, 1. Mac and cheese.
Okay. Oh, you're going to mac and cheese. Okay. Yeah. Mac and cheese.
What's yours?
I mean, mac and cheese would be
a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
because we don't really do too many casseroles like the
green bean.
No.
Oh.
I'm familiar with casseroles, but we don't necessarily.
I'm familiar with.
Oh.
It's essentially an excuse to throw cheese on everything. All right,
Yes.
But enough about us. We have a doctor and a lawyer with us today, folks. That's right, Dr. Natasha Lawyer is joining us here from DeKalb. So tell us a little bit about yourself, but then also where are you on this debate? I see a Southerner. You might come on our side a little bit, or on Adam's side, but yeah,
definitely a Southerner, and it's dressing all day.
Okay.
Stuffing is what you stuff in the bird.
But when it comes out, okay.
When it comes out, I guess it's still stuffing. But if it's a separate pan by itself, dressing.
Okay.
That's dressing.
So I'm asking you this.
Before you introduce yourself, let's get to the bottom of this. Yeah.
The real conversation. This is the real conversation. So I've never been one outside of the holidays to do the whole dressing thing, but I know they sell stovetop. Like it was like
all year.
Yeah, I've never been a Sunday dinners, stovetop kind of person. I don't know. It has to be a set holiday. Like I look forward to it. Like I love it. Like Thanksgiving, Christmas.
How often do you eat a big turkey?
I totally agree.
I mean, once a year, twice a year, maybe for Christmas. Yeah.
Maybe for Christmas.
Maybe I'm
definitely once a year.
The closest I may do to like turkey, like bird outside of that is like if I'm at a Renaissance festival, they have like the smoked turkey leg or something like wing or something like.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like this is not a bird that quits the table in the Flannel household,
Okay, so tell us who you are and what do you do now that we've gotten all the important stuff out of the way. Now we can get to the real light stuff.
All right, wonderful. Hello. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm Dr. Natasha Lawyer, Technology Integration Specialist for DeKalb County School District. I've been in this role since March. Prior to, I was Instructional Technology Specialist for the district, and then prior to that, a third grade reading teacher for 8.5 years before I got out of the classroom and transitioned over.
Nice. And so in that role, what did you see? I would say the transition from classroom teacher to the support role, because a lot of folks that listen to this podcast are they're probably in a role where they were in a classroom or they're thinking about going into those roles. What did you see? What was a big transitional moment for you? Like, oh, this is very different.
Okay, this is a great question. Well, one of the reasons why I knew I wanted to transition out of the classroom was because I saw what technology was doing for my students, and I saw how engaged they were and how excited they were, and they really lit up. And when I gave them choice and opportunity, like they really, really transformed in the classroom. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing this in my classroom, but I'm looking across the hall, looking down the hall.
Not happening.
It's not happening. And so even when the kids would come to my grade level, third grade, they were so deficient in certain technical skills, just being able to type. And it's because their prior grade didn't allow them to type stuff. So I knew then that, you know what, I want to help get this awareness to other teachers, because I do believe when they can see it, then they'll buy into it. So that was that pivotal moment where I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to go ahead and get out of the classroom and move into instructional technology specialist.
So you just told people like, hey, I'm leaving. You better hire me. I'm coming over here.
I actually have a funny story about that. So that year I decided, it was October. No, it was in early September. I decided that This was going to be
last
my
year.
last year. So, okay.
Wow, that's good.
So I called a former ITS who was here, and I called her with the intention of asking her, hey, what should I be doing this year so I can prepare myself? Smart. How should I set myself up? What do I take pictures? What do I need to do? So I called her that evening, and it's like a Tuesday. I called her that evening, and as soon as she picked up the phone, she said, I hope you're calling to tell me you're applying. I was like, applying? What are you talking about? She was like, no, the job is posted right now. I hope you're calling some of your applying. I don't know anything about that. She was like, it's up. You need to do it right now. And you call me as soon as you're done with it. You need to do it right now. I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
So you quickly transitioned. Yeah, pivoted.
Yeah. And literally by that next month, I was here.
You were already doing the work. Yeah. They already saw the work from you. So they knew you didn't need to do another year of like, yeah. That's awesome.
Right.
And that's always, I think a lot of people's cases where you're doing the work already. So sometimes, preparing, you've already been preparing for it. And you mentioned something that I know when I was in the classroom, I found a little shocking because I thought everybody was doing the stuff that I was doing. It was one of those things where, and that's like,
not all doing the same thing.
Yeah. Right. Classroom teacher, like when the door closes, you kind of get in those walls, and even though you have your planning meetings and your PLCs or whatever, you're like, I just think you're just doing that stuff too. But then you realize when you talk to kids, because I was a high school person, they're like, oh no, you're the only one doing this. This is cool. And other teachers would stop by. How are you doing that? Can you show me? So it pulls you out of your element sometimes because you're also having to train adults or show adults how to do that. So let me ask this, in your transition, what have you found the most challenging or rewarding, let's do it both ways, in supporting adults and getting to that level with their technology usage?
Okay, so the most challenging has been getting those teachers on board who don't want to buy into it.
Really? They're
stuck.
It's like the number one. Oh my gosh.
Yes, really getting them on board, really having that patience and trying to show them a different side of it. Because unfortunately, a lot of us, when we're in a classroom, you've been doing it 10, 12 years, you have your routines, you have your papers down to the T, you know what you're doing each year. So helping them to see outside of their norm what it could be and how students can interact, because we have to shift and we have to be flexible because each year the same kids are not coming. So you can't expect the same things to work every year.
So what you're telling me is I should be eating dressing outside of Thanksgiving. I should broaden. I should try to find ways to do it more often and
think about stuff in a different life. Yes.
I actually don't eat dressing, so I really can't even have a conversation because I don't even eat it, or stuffing for that matter.
I tried to bring it back.
That's true though. I mean, it's funny though because your experience matters too. So like people that come at it from a position of like, one of the things I struggled with early on in my career is when I was mostly elementary to start is getting buy-in from high school.
Oh yeah.
And so when they say, she's a very great teacher, we're not going to listen to anything she has to say because the second you say the words, like their brain turns off. How do you overcome that? That was always one that I work with a lot of high school students, but I was never like a full-time in the classroom teacher. Right. How do you overcome that part of it? Because I feel like that's a barrier that comes up sometimes.
It definitely can be. What the fortunate part is, while I was going through this or transitioning this, I was also working on my doctorate degree, and so I study andragogy, which is adult learning theory. So
thank you. Saying the phrase. No, we have a big debate about this. The difference between andragogy and pedagogy. I think there are differences.
There are differences, and it's important that you know how adults learn. And so their biggest thing, they don't care about how, they don't care about what, they care about why. So if you attack that first and foremost, you're going to get buy-in. It doesn't matter what grade level. I mean, that could be kindergarten, that could be 12th grade. As long as you hit them there first, then they'll see like, oh, you know what, this is a good use of my time, or I can walk away from this. And also you have to know your audience, because high school, they don't want that fluff. Like elementary, could be very excited, and they don't need all that. They're straight to the point. So you have to learn your audience for sure.
Just like teaching, right?
It's absolutely. But starting with why though.
Okay, so now the most rewarding part from all this, I think you started to go into the rewarding part. I kind of went down a different path there.
The rewarding part is seeing the transformation happen in the classroom. So, as a result of them working with me or doing a professional learning series, or in this new role as technology innovation coordinator, now I support the instructional technology specialist. So, seeing the teachers walk away like, wow, I learned something, like, oh, I was able to use that in my classroom the next day. So, that's the rewarding part, seeing it happen in fruition. So, it's not just a sit and get, and it's not a waste of time, because that was when I was in the classroom, that was the biggest thing. Do not waste my time, and make whatever you're showing me, I don't mind learning, but give me practical tips and tools that I can use tomorrow.
Right.
Not in a week, not in a month, tomorrow.
That was it. You always see the teachers that would show up sometimes, like they're gonna be back there cutting letters, they're grading.
Yes.
And it's because they've been a part of so many poor professional learning experiences. And they have these companies sometimes that bring in, I don't want to get started with that, but they'll bring in a person to train. And it's like, here's the bullets of what we're going to do today. Like, no, we're gone. When I see the chart paper come out, although I've now come back where I like a little bit of chart paper, but you can mix the analog a little bit with the digital.
But my thing with the chart paper though, and this is anyone who's doing PL who's listening and watching, you have to do something with that chart paper after it's done. Like, I hate when you go through all these people are writing things, drawing
Then you
things,
fold it up and throw it
you
away.
stick it up on the wall, and nothing happens from there. So like, what was the purpose of doing that? Was that a 45-minute time killer that you needed for this workshop, or are we taking this and actually taking actionable actions from this piece of paper? Are you taking a picture of it and you're going to share it back out later with some words to go along with it, or actions? That's the frustration. We do these things, great activities. There's a process, a thinking process. You're going with your partner, think, pair, sharing, all this fun stuff. But then what happens after that?
And now with AI, you can take a picture of it and I guess have AI look at it and say, hey, here are some next steps. Have these actions. Because we used to take pictures. Oh, we'll have pictures of it. And then you're right, same things, like it sits in a folder. Maybe it just kind of dies on the vine at that point. So maybe an AI application for that. Well, speaking of AI though, because your team got to participate in our first AI boot camp,
Yes.
And you're very engaged. You had a big department, a lot of staff members that were a part of it. So whenever we did your breakout room, you guys had like 20 people in there, and I could trust you and Terry. We're just going to run that really well. What were some takeaways you had from the boot camp? Because we're starting up another one actually in the spring, so people are listening to this. It may be starting right around this time, but I'm curious what were your takeaways from that, and then also kind of seeing, I guess, further questions, AI in the classroom, where you see that headed.
So first of all, it was a phenomenal boot camp. Just getting that conversation going and being around like-minded people who are not afraid of it and not afraid to really start digging into it. One of the biggest takeaways, ironically, is that we're not so far behind.
Yes. You guys are. We were excited when you signed up because of that.
Yes, we realized that we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing the right things. We're pushing the needle forward with that, and just starting to get that conversation. But one of the other takeaways is you all talked about the importance of getting community stakeholders involved and making sure the community as a whole is aware and is open and is upfront, and we're communicative about that. So that was interesting, because I think we could do a better job of that, ensuring that particularly our parents and even our community stakeholders and partners know about it, just so we're all on the same page and they can buy into it and they can know where we're going and what's our projected landscape with using AI. We have not opened it up to students at this point, so we're still teetering the line with that and treading carefully and making sure our policies and things are in place. But we have opened it up for teachers and they have run with it.
Yeah. They open it up, you're just like, they can have access to, is there a list of things they can access?
There's a list.
Copilot, Gemini.
Copilot, Gemini, and Magic School 8.
Magic Schools, okay. Yeah.
That's about it.
None of those are sponsors of this podcast, but they're welcome to sign up at any time.
But that's the cool thing when you mention that, the parent aspect of things, because when you start thinking about, and I mentioned this when we were talking with Terry, AI is something that who's going to educate the adults on?
Yeah.
So if I'm a parent of a student, whatever comes through my social media feed, whatever I see on the local news, that may be my only knowledge or thoughts around AI. So if my algorithm is telling me bad things about it, or if I hear about a story of a student that did self-harm because of an AI chatbot, then in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you putting this in front of kids? We shouldn't be using this. This is horrible. versus bringing them along and saying, no, this is some things to consider or think about. So when they see that other narrative that's out there, they're like, okay, well, that's just one aspect of it. It's multifaceted. It could be used this way. Bad things could happen, but look at all the good it can do. So let me ask this: with the size of this county and the diverse population that y'all serve here, what do you see as these my edu speak here, the greatest opportunity that you have?
Not a challenge, opportunity. Yeah.
To engage all these parent groups in there, like what's the ways that you're looking at this opportunity? I mean, do you have like some strong PTOs out there, or are you working with any local groups to kind of get the message out or anything, or are you just getting in that phase where you're having those conversations?
Well, we are starting to have those conversations, but we host each month a parent tech cafe.
That's right.
That is specifically for our parents across the district, and we feature different topics. Well, since your boot camp, we decided that in each month's topic, we're gonna embed an AI component.
I love it.
So we're starting that conversation. We also have learned a lot about Parent Pro Tech. Not sure if you all have heard of that before, but they talk a lot about AI awareness and getting parents involved, and they have courses and videos. So now we've partnered with them, and that's through Godot, because that new House bill where teachers, no, students have to have digital citizenship training and things they have to be exposed to in a year. So we've partnered with them to get some of those resources, and they have AI components in it as well.
Oh, awesome.
So we're targeting our parents every month.
I love that
at this point.
And it's drip, 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 because it's not
Exactly.
we're not gonna do like the one, like I was brought to a district last month to do an AI parent talk, and it was great. But at the same time, like, 50 parents showed up. They got it.
Right.
But now it's a drip. So I know every time you come back, we're gonna do another little, now we're gonna talk about literacy. Now we're gonna talk about deep fakes. Now we're gonna talk about bias.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we did one last night, and we talked about, protecting yourself. So we did a duel with AI, understanding what it is and what it isn't from a parent's perspective, because the kids are using it at home. And we just had one last night, literally. And then we also tied in digital citizenship and cyber awareness. So we know it's the holiday season, so scammers are out, be on the alert.
Tax season is approaching, so
IRS is calling.
Free iPad, do not click the link. That is not a Christmas gift.
You mean to tell me that my Netflix password didn't get reset and I need to click this link to submit a new password and credit card information?
I will say that all the digital literacy that we did over the years, digital citizenship that's been around, I think, for over a decade, just in learning the internet, it's making it. I mean, it's still hard. Don't get me wrong. AI is so much faster and better and smarter, and it looks real. And
Right.
I feel like now, since if you have a good foundation of that in your schools, that you're not going to be struggling as much with the students that are like, I don't know what this is. Although you still have your incoming, your littles that are going to be like exposed to it before they even walk into this classroom, probably. So someone who taught elementary, what level of AI literacy do you do with elementary students? Is it, because obviously they're not old enough to get on the platforms, but some of them are probably starting to dabble a little bit at home. I mean, teachers modeling it, I would assume. Like, what are some ways you're showing it in the classrooms, or what ways you're thinking about using that for the elementary classrooms?
Right now, not really for student usage, more so for teachers to break down those new standards. We just got new math standards and ELA standards.
Oh boy,
So really,
same time.
literally back to back. So yes. So really more so on the teacher side right now for elementary, breaking it down. But a part of the boot camp, one of the groups I was in, and we had our conversation, we talked about elementary and what that looks like for like a third grade classroom or fourth grade classroom, and just starting to help them pick it up in the real world, like where they already using it and not realizing, or starting to have that conversation like, well, how did YouTube help to choose what should be your next video, or Netflix? How can so just starting to share with them that openness, but we haven't got to a point where our teachers are consistently doing
Yeah. And that takes again, like anything new, that'll take a while. But I do feel like that modeling, man, it's so important at K to 12, but I'll say K5, because they're going to start, what is it? 82% of sixth graders use it, but it'll be probably closer to 95% by the end of this year. Yeah.
I think just recognizing it is key. When you see it, to realize that it's there. We're at the point now where it's not this is AI time, or AI is a thing. Like it's ingrained and it's embedded to the point where, like we were saying earlier, you don't even know necessarily when you're on Facebook. It's still AI behind the scenes that are doing some things. The reason why there's algorithm
so bad there lately. Oh my God.
I've even noticed now, like I don't even know what Facebook's AI is called, but like under a post now, you'll see their little AI thing where it'll give you a prompt like, "Oh, Carl posted a list of favorite stuffing recipes."
Ah, there we go.
And so
Get
you
it right.
like, would you like to know more about this recipe? And I could click on that, and it will give me
the
on
meta
Facebook.
AI.
Yeah, the meta AI gives you a breakdown. So now, from a regular person's post, not just like something you just pulled or whatever, it's like, oh, here's my recipe for this. Their AI will give me a breakdown just on that. So you have that on Snapchat, you have that in Instagram. So our students are seeing that more and more, and they may just be using it and not realizing that, oh, this is an AI feature, this is an AI tool. What information am I sharing with it? How is it building a model later? Like,
And the difference even now, I would say between 6 months ago and now is that before AI was taking human generated content and bringing it up to your feed. Now AI, especially in Facebook platforms where it's agentic, meaning it's looking at things you're interested in and it's creating stories based on what you're interested in. So if you follow a certain person, a certain politician, a certain celebrity, all of a sudden you'll see like such and such celebrity and politician got into an argument. And I'm like, really? And I'll see the article. And even for a half a second, like, why are they even this? And like, oh, wait, it's because I follow one and I follow the other. It's making up stories, and people are resharing the stories that are completely. When there's floods in Texas this summer, there's like Matthew McConaughey's donating Tom Brady's donating $3.5 million dollars, and I was like, all these people keep donating. It's always 3.5 million. I was like, what is going on? I was like, it's because it's creating fake posts.
Wow.
That's so like in the last 3 months, it's gotten. I don't know if anyone out there is listening. You see what I'm talking about, but you'll start to scroll on like Facebook seems to be the worst one right now, but it's everywhere. It's all the big LinkedIn, not so bad, I would say, but yeah. Anyway,
yeah, I spend more of my social media time when I'm looking at the socials, probably more on LinkedIn now because there seems to be less junk in my feed there. Minus just the random people who send me.
You mean you don't get DMs that I want to sell you on
somebody trying to sell me stuff or whatever.
Have you ever thought about being on an educational podcast? Please click this link and make an appointment with us.
We followed your work. It's amazing.
Would you like to write a book at some point in your life? Yeah, thank you. It's like, at least be good about the spam. If you're going to spam me.
Would you like to go back to school and get another degree? No.
Yes. No, but Natasha
Unlike some people.
Natasha would. She's a lifelong student.
Yes.
Tell us, when we walked in, you were saying you're doing, I don't know how much you want to disclose on the podcast, but you're working, part of things, getting your doctorate is an important part, but then also like in Texas, we had to have an admin certification and superintendent certification. If you want to move to higher levels, does Georgia require that too? You guys have certain certs you have to get and classes you have to take?
Yes.
And the district pays for all of it?
I wish.
I asked for that too, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that." Like, oh, okay.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But some districts do.
They do like a scholarship
reimbursement.
Yeah.
District they pay for it outright.
Wow,
but then you have to commit, I think, 5 years or so.
That makes sense.
But it does make sense, yeah. So I did find out that in order to continue to move up and get promotions within pretty much any school district in the state of Georgia, I need to have educational leadership certification. So at least tier 1, tier 2 is the one for superintendent status. I don't necessarily have to do that unless I'm interested in that.
Yes, you are.
I
want Dr. Lawyer. I want Dr. Lawyer, the superintendent in my life. I feel like this has to happen in the next 5 years, maybe 8
As someone
years.
who has personally said that they will never sit in the big chair, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy for us to say. We'll never do it. You should do it.
You got this.
And believe it or not, people have told me that before.
Yes, absolutely.
Bought into it yet.
You have the demeanor, the intelligence, the communications, everything you've got. And I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here on the podcast, but what I've seen of your work and of course the team you work with, the way you lift each other up, I think the skill set's there. And you've got a great model in Terry as a leader who's like raising people up all the time too. Absolutely. So
and it was thanks to her that she told me, hey, you need to get this.
Yeah, push just a little bit, right? Yes. That's part of that andragogy, right? It's pushing a little bit too.
And it's one of those things that I know you do this already, but it's a matter of, because now that you know that, I know you're pouring into other folks and raising the tide, because it's all about being able to support other folks in this space. Because we've done this stuff enough, and Carla, we've had this conversation. The rooms don't always reflect our student population that we walk in.
Yep.
And so it's a matter of making sure that people are aware that they have the potential, they have the skill set, and they deserve the opportunity to be in these spaces, in these rooms. So From afar, I've watched your growth and everything. So I want to give kudos to the work that you're doing, but also with the amazing team that's here in DeKalb and the growth that I'm seeing, like everybody on the team kind of doing these various things. So really amazing. And I just love to see more faces like yours in the rooms that I've get the opportunity to walk in as well. So kudos to you.
You received the Adam and Carl endorsement. It's official now. You can put that on your resume, put it on your job description. That'll be number 2, right after the doctorate and all the degrees and certifications. By the way, Adam and Carl endorsed me on a podcast. So we got a recording. It's live, folks. Well, so with all of that, and I guess, you going to school, we always ask our guests this as kind of a final wrap-up question about keeping themselves balanced. So going to school, getting your PhD, working with adults in different areas of teaching and learning, how do you keep yourself undisrupted and just kind of balanced in life? What are some things you do or techniques you do to keep yourself kind of level?
That's a great question. Well, one, I prioritize boundaries.
Interesting.
That's important.
I love that.
So one of the best things about being out of the classroom is when I'm done at work, I'm literally done at work for the day. So in the classroom, you stay, there's always work to do that had to be done at home. Versus now, it's like, okay, I can tackle that tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to go on my schedule tomorrow. So I'm pretty strict on boundaries. So when I clock off, unless it's an important event, so like we have our technology competition up. So this is a time where I probably will spend a little more time. But other than that, I try and stay true so that way I can go home. I'm married now, so I can cook and, just have life. I think that's so important.
That's so important.
When we get lost in that.
Yeah.
And I can get lost in that. So I'm trying to do a better job, especially when I was in school, because I'm one of those people that I lock in and I really lock in. And so I have to make sure I don't get buried, right? Pull back and don't get buried in all of that. So
I think we just heard the title of the first book, Prioritizing Boundaries by Dr. Natasha Lawyer. So she's going to be a superintendent, an author. What else can we give her? She's going to give her. You got married, that's fine.
Yeah, well, she mentioned the cooking, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a book of recipes. I know she said she doesn't eat the stuffing or dressing, but if you had to have one in there for the holiday menu for folks, so I'm keeping this theme throughout. The stuffing dressing is gonna.
We're gonna taste for it now. This thing.
Okay. Oh, let's add this real quick.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce, yay or nay with your stuffing / dressing?
I say no. My wife loves her cranberry sauce. She makes a homemade cranberry sauce, and so it goes on everything, stuffing, and also on the turkey, on the dressing of the turkey. But yeah. So I can't. I always say stuffing because I was growing up that way. But
okay, so it's got to be out the can. Give me the kind with no berries.
She puts port wine in it. She does the whole cranberries and has some pop. I mean, she makes the sauce. It's all with sugar.
No, and it's really good.
Nobody eats it. Only like 3 people eat it, but it's really good when you eat it. Yeah.
The best cranberry sauce is when you forget it and somebody's got to run to the store and try to find it from 3 stores, and right before the meal comes. I don't know what it is about it. It just tastes better out of the can.
Comes out of that can. Yeah. It makes that sound when it's right out of that. It's the ASMR version of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. So tell us real quick, where can we find out more about you and the great work you do?
You can follow me on LinkedIn, Natasha Lawyer. I believe it's my name on there. I'm also on Twitter. It's Techie Natasha, but LinkedIn is
more LinkedIn. Yeah. That changed quite a bit.
It has.
Well, thank you so much for being on the UnDisrupted podcast. This has been, of course, UnDisrupted Season 10 live on the road, everybody. Thank you all for Ed, of course, for always hosting this and then letting Adam and I do this great work. He's Adam, and you can follow him at AskAdam3 on the socials.
And he's Carl, and you can follow him at Hooker Tech. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are better together.
And we are better
UnDisrupted.